Hello, this is Irina from La La Land Crafts. Today is the World Card Making Day and it felt almost wrong not to make a card. I made this card. It's a Christmas card, white with gold, and I loved it so much, so I decided to make a video and to show you how I made it. I hope you can see all beautiful textures. I'm still playing with the settings on my camera and the lights. The white on white or white and gold cards are so pretty, but it's so hard to take pictures and showcase them in the videos to show all of their beauty. On this card, I used a few different techniques. I used dry embossing with both dies and the scoring board. We're also going to do what's called die cut inlay to place the ornament on the front panel of the card. The products that I'm using for this card are 2 sets of dies. The first one is double stitch squares. It's actually a set of 4 dies. This is the largest die. It measures 4 by 4 inches, so you can see it's a pretty big size. And I'm using the smaller size, the next shape that goes with it. The reason it's called double stitch squares, I hope you can see, the cutting line is in the middle and then the stitching goes on both sides of it, so we're going to take advantage of this beautiful design. And the other die that we're going to use is Christmas ornament. This is from the last year's release, but I still love it. One of my favorite dies. It comes as a set of 1, but we have 3 different ornaments, 3 different shapes. This is Christmas ornament 3. I'll put the links to all of these dies below in the video description so you can find them easily in our online store. The first thing we're going to do, embossing with the dies. I'm going to grab, I already pre-cut all of the layers. I'm going to grab this layer. It measures 4.5 by 4.5, and I'm going to bring out my cuddle bug. For this technique, I'm going to use my A plate, my B plate, then I have rubber mat. This is important for this technique. Next, I'm going to put my cardstock onto the rubber mat and my die with the blade facing down. I'm going to center it as much as I can on the piece of my cardstock. By placing the rubber mat onto the plate, instead of cutting, the die will press into the rubber mat and it will leave the impression on our cardstock. I'm going to cover it with the second B plate. And I'm going to run it through my cuddle bug just once. When I take it out, you can see the beautiful detail that it left. We have embossed lines and the stitching impressed into the cardstock. So this is the other way you can use your dies. Next, I'm going to prepare this layer, the main panel on our card. For this, I'm going to grab another piece of the cardstock that I already pre-cut, and this one measures 3.25 by 3.25. It's actually a little larger than what we're going to end up with, but this is what we're starting with. I'm going to grab my A plate again. Now I have my C plate and the shim. The shim is just the regular weight cardstock cut to the size of the plate. It goes onto the A plate, then covers the C plate. My cardstock goes on here. Then I'm going to grab my Christmas ornament and I'm going to position it again blade side down, and I'm going to try my best to center it on this piece of the cardstock. Then I'm going to cover it with my with my B plate. So we have A, shim, C. This is the B plate. And I'm going to run this through my Cuttlebug back and forth a few times because the design is delicate, intricate, and I want to make sure it cuts all the way through to show all the pretty detail. Now I'm going to remove the die with the paper, and I'm going to be left with this window opening in the shape of our ornament. I'm going to keep it here on my Cuttlebug. Now I'm going to use my smaller double-stitched square, and I'm going to position it again blade side down, and I'm going to do my best to center the ornament inside of the die. And I'm going to run it through my Cuttlebug just once because it's a square shape, there's no detail. I'm not using the outside frame kind of stitched shape on this project, so I'm going to put it aside. And now we're left with the stitched, hope you can see the stitching, with the stitched window. I'm going to move aside the Cuttlebug, we're finished with it. I just need to remove the die cut from my die. So pretty. And now all we have left to get ready to assemble the card is to emboss this layer. So I'm going to bring my scalpel and I'm going to position this layer facing down and diagonally. So this is a square, I'm going to position it diagonally. And I'm going to make sure that the two opposite corners are on the same line. So here you go, I need to move a little bit. I'm going to use my bond folder, and once I position it diagonally, I can start scoring every half an inch, and I'm staying inside of the stitch detail. So I'm not going all the way up and down, I am only inside of the stitch detail. The reason I die cut the ornament first and then die cut the square, which seems kind of opposite way to do it, is because I didn't want the stitching detail to be pushed into the paper again if I run it through the machine, through the die cutting machine when die cutting the ornament. So I'm turning, probably noticed I turn the layer the opposite way, and I keep on going at every half an inch. So this gives me nice diamond shape embossing inside of the stitching detail. So pretty. Okay, so that was pretty fast. So you can see the prep work for this was pretty fast. Now all we need to do is to assemble our card. The card base measures 5.5 by 11. It's folded in half. My next layer is 5 by 5, followed by 4 3/4 by 4 3/4 gold cardstock. I'm going to go ahead and glue them together. Next one is my large embossed layer. I'm I'm using 3 milliliter foam to give the 3D effect instead of the foam tape. But of course you can use the foam tape, it's your preference. Because this foam is not adhesive, I'm putting adhesive on the layer. And then I'm going to put adhesive on the card front because it really doesn't stay here if I put it directly onto the foam. So I'm not going all the way out. I'm making sure that I'm inside of the card base so my glue is not showing when I attach the layer. So going to center it like this. Now we're going to put together our main focus layer. I have 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 white cardstock, followed by 3 by 3 gold cardstock. Next goes my die cut and embossed window. Now before inlaying my ornament shape, I have another one that I die cut out of chipboard. You can see our dies cut nice and clean. And the reason I'm doing the chipboard here because it will give the ornament just a little bit of the shadow effect, and it will also bring it up so it's not popped on the foam tape. It doesn't stand out that much, but just gives a little bit of it, and it creates a nice pretty effect. Then I have a smaller piece of the foam, 3 milliliter foam, that I'm going to put behind this layer. I'm going to put adhesive inside in the center here, and again making sure that I'm not going out too far with the adhesive. Center it. How pretty. Now the only things are left to do are to add a little pearl, adhesive half pearl in the center of the ornament, and to add a gold string bow on the top. So you can see this card, as gorgeous as it is very simple to make, doesn't take that long to make it. So this would be great project, great card to make a lot of, so you can send to all of your family and friends. Gorgeous. Now, if you're watching this tutorial today on October 1st, 2016, on the World Card Making Day, we have a sale in our store, 25% off on all stamps, dies, and digits. The coupon code is MakeCards25, all capital letters, MakeCards25. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you decide to use some or all of their techniques on your cards and projects. If you do, please make sure to share on our social media. I would love to see them. And that's all for today. Till next time.